Hello everybody, this is Monty with Flowers by the Bunch. Today we're going to make a beautiful arrangement in this compote container. I guess it's not a compote. I don't know exactly what you would call this container. Almost a tureen, like a soup tureen maybe. Anyway, I picked this up from an antique store. Just a really pretty china piece that had a container and then it had a lid. So it's really beautiful. But of course, you know that my mind went to how can I arrange flowers in this container? So what we're going to do is we are going to take a piece of fresh floral foam. Victoria filled the reservoir with water. I'm going to take my floral knife and I'm going to cut off about a third of the block of foam and use 2/3 in this container. I'm going to tuck that in. I am going to trim up those corners because it's not wanting to sit flat in that container. Okay, so I trimmed up the corners, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to trim this side a little more. I'm going to tape it into place. So there is our foam. Now the reason I decided to sit it up on its side is my thoughts are we are going to put the lid on top of it and all of our flowers are just going to come out around the edges. And so I think that that's going to work. Yeah. So I'm going to take a little bit of tape and I am going to tape that floral foam into place. I'm going to try to use a clear tape because I don't want the green tape to show around the edges of the foam. So I'm going to try this clear tape, if I can find the end. I am going to tape my foam into place. Now it's always important when using floral foam and different things that you want to make sure your mechanics are going to be well put together. So I am just taking this tape and taping that foam into place. And I am going to tape it in several different places just to make sure that it stays in place for me. All right, so it's well taped in place. Next, we are going to come in. I'm going to set this foam off to the side. Next, we're going to come in with a little bit of greenery. So the greenery that we have is a little bit of pittosporum, a variegated pittosporum, and then some Italian ruscus. So I'm going to take my lid and set it right on top for a moment. And I'm going to go around because I don't want to really overdo it with the greenery. But we definitely are going to need a little greenery. So I'm just holding that lid in place. And I am just coming all the way around with my greenery. Now the wonderful part about pittosporum is that it kind of has florets. Its little growth grows almost like a little floret. And so I'm just taking just that top little floret, breaking that apart and popping that right down into that floral foam. I also like the smell of pittosporum. It just smells pretty, I think. So we have made arrangements similar to this in a pumpkin before. And so that's kind of what we were thinking here. Actually, Victoria said, "Hey Monty, I've got an idea for a video." She pulled this container, she pulled all my flowers, so it's really, really fun to be able to design with things that you've never really even looked at before. You know, I mean, to think about a design, which is so fun because it kind of makes you have to be creative and have fun with it. So in the past, in the fall, we have taken a pumpkin and cut the top off the pumpkin, and we've put the top back onto the pumpkin so that we could arrange flowers. All right, so our greenery is in place. You can kind of see it all the way around. Now, I really think it would be nice if I could lift this lid just a little bit. So I'm going to take a wood pick, and I am going to actually kind of put it onto my container a little catty cornered. And we're going to put flowers here and then flowers kind of all the way around. But that way, then we have a little more space to add flowers. So all I did was take a wood pick. Now my lid has a lip. So when you place it on top, it's not going to just slide off. So that's kind of what I made sure that it caught that lip. That wood pick caught the lip. Now, this will be an arrangement that will be delivered without the lid on it. And once you get it to the place that it's going, we're actually going to take it out to my mama and let her enjoy it. So once we get it to the place it's going, then you'll replace the lid. But you always want to be careful when using a really pretty container that has a lid, because you certainly don't want it to fall off. Next, I am coming in with, this is called Italian ruscus. It's got pointy little leaves, and I'm just going to take it and cut it into smaller pieces and just press it right down into my floral foam. All right, so there's our Italian ruscus. And I've got a little more that will come in at the end. Now the flowers that Victoria chose are blue delphinium, some lavender colored roses, hot pink zinnias, wax flower, yellow spray roses, some rumex, and some buttons. So lots of pretty colors. We're going to start out with our blue delphinium. And this arrangement is going to be a little different in shape and style than anything I've probably ever designed, just strictly because it is different, right? I'm going to take my delphinium. I cut the length of the stem off, and I am just going to tuck it kind of off to the side where I have that lid kind of caddied. We're just going to be creative and have fun. Now this container has all of these colors that I'm using. It has some blues and it has some pinks. It has a touch of lavender. So it's kind of fun to pull all the colors that, and it has the hot pink, all the colors that you're using. It's kind of neat to pull that. Let's take a little bit of this rumex, and I'm going to take it and I'm going to cut it into small pieces and tuck it down into our floral foam. Now the one thing about rumex you have to be careful with is it has to have plenty of water. So you need to make sure that it's well watered when using it. So just be sure to keep water in that reservoir so that it doesn't, because it is pretty wilt prone. So you can kind of see I tucked that rumex coming out on that side. And I'm just taking my snips and cutting that rumex into smaller pieces so that I can use it in several different insertions. All right. So we have our blue Delphinium and our pretty Rumex tucked in. Next we're going to come in with a little bit of wax flower. So we got in this pretty pink wax, or fuchsia colored wax. Look how pretty that is. It looks so pretty and it smells so pretty. So wax flower, when you crush its greenery or its foliage, it's going to kind of smell like soap. It's very interesting. And it's so pretty. I think if you asked Victoria what her favorite filler flower would be, she would definitely say wax flower. It comes in some pretty colors. It comes in pinks and whites, hot pink. But in the fall, they often will tint it in autumn colors like oranges and yellows. And it's one of those things that I honestly don't mind it tinted. So every once in a while you'll get a product that's tinted and it's such a faux color. It's so not a true flower color that I don't love a tinted flower. But wax flower is one of those that I don't mind at all because it's usually very pretty. All right, there's our wax kind of all the way around in that little container. Next we are going to come in with some of our really pretty roses. So these are they look like a garden type rose. They're actually a standard rose, kind of in a lavendery pink color. I'm going to take and remove any of the petals that don't look pretty. Just go ahead and pop those right off. It is not hurting that flower at all. I'm going to take, y'all forgive me for clearing my throat. I'm going to take and cut that stem at an angle. I'm just going to nestle that pretty rose right down into that floral foam. The wonderful part about these roses, they remind me a little bit of a heart rose because they have so many pretty petals. Lots and lots of petals. So when they open up, they look so much like a garden rose. All right, there's our pretty roses. Next, we're going to come in with some beautiful zinnias. So these are just garden zinnias cut right out of the garden. So pretty. The color is so vibrant. Now, if you are a novice at planting flowers and growing flowers, a zinnia is going to be a wonderful starter flower. So easy to grow, and you just start those from seeds. One of our sweet friends brought us these flowers. She is actually growing several different varieties of flowers in her garden this year, and she said, "Monty, I want you to try them and see what you think." And so it's so much fun to use garden fresh, local grown flowers. A nice thing about a zinnia too is it's very long lasting, so it's going to last for a really long time, which is so fun. We've got some bright yellow spray roses, just so pretty. And honestly, I think a pop of yellow is perfect for any occasion. Now, not everybody loves yellow, but it happens to be my favorite. Yellow is my favorite. It's just such a happy color. And so I love yellow. Now, if you decided you didn't really like that lid catty cornered, you can absolutely take it and place it a little flatter in that container. That's really going to be whatever your preference. It's not going to be right or wrong either way. But I do like the way I have it caddied because you can kind of see the pattern on the china, which is really nice. To finish it off, we're going to add a few buttons. So buttons are a type of chrysanthemum, just a really pretty mum. Now the wonderful part about a chrysanthemum in any variety, they last for a very long time. They remind you a lot of, they last about the length of a carnation, just forever, a long period of time. And so that's really nice. But chrysanthemums come in so many varieties, like I have no idea how many varieties, but they last a long time and they come in every color in the rainbow just about. So that's really fun. So I'm just taking these buttons and I am just breaking them off this stem and just tucking them here and there in our arrangement. I love the creativity of this arrangement. It's so different and creative. It makes for a fun, different arrangement. Whenever you are out and about, always as a floral designer, I am always looking for a container that is fun and different and will hold water. If it holds water, it'll hold flowers. And so to me, that is so much fun. I think this would be a beautiful arrangement, perfect for a garden party or a tea party. You could put this in the center of your table for a beautiful tea party. If you have different types of china, you could use even a teapot and make the same style arrangement, just of course in a teapot as your vessel. You always need to make sure that the container will hold plenty of water, but if it holds water, it will hold flowers. And so this actually really turned out to be so lovely. I do want to add just a touch of blue on this side of the arrangement because I have the blue up here. So I'm going to take another piece of Delphinium. I'm pulling off a few of those blooms and I am going to press that right down into that floral foam. Be careful because you'll break it, and I don't know if you noticed, but I just broke that stem. This arrangement is for my mama, so it's not the end of the world, but you do not want to break stems if at all possible. Okay, so there's a touch of that blue on the opposite side. I'm going to move this pot so that you can see, or that bucket, clean off my space so that you can see the finished product. But here is a beautiful container, which I would say is somewhat of a soup tureen or some type of dish like that. That we have just designed a lovely arrangement in. Now the flowers include, the greenery was variegated pittosporum, a little bit of Italian ruscus, a touch of rumex, and then we used blue delphinium, those garden style roses. We used zinnias, these gorgeous hot pink zinnias. We used wax flower, yellow spray roses, and green buttons. But a lovely display for any occasion. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Do me a great big favor. If you enjoyed this video and feel like you learned something, please give us a thumbs up. Do me a favor, if you have not already subscribed to our channel, hit that subscribe button. If you'll hit the bell, you will get notifications for when we have a brand new video. Guys, thank you. Have a great day.